Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's session. The things we'll be covering tonight, I'm very excited about, is the one thing that you're probably getting wrong in love and how to turn it around instantly. So before we get started, just a bit of housekeeping. I'd love you just to relax. There's this little section some of you may or may not have used webinars before where you can actually ask questions. So I'll be looking out for some questions. I may not be able to get to everyone's questions, but please do type them through and I'll either send them through, answer them tonight or after the session. So relax, have fun, make sure you've got a glass of water, you're nice and comfortable, and I always advise a pen and paper to make some notes, but I'd be more than happy to send you through a copy of what we're covering tonight. So let's get started to this secret information that we all need to know. So the one thing you're probably getting wrong in love and how to turn around instantly is it's something that I've noticed. It's really common. It's across the board worldwide through men and women. So can anyone guess what that is? So feel free to type through any of your thoughts. Okay, the first one, being too judgmental. Very good, that's up there, but it's not quite the one thing that's universal. Yeah, okay, not getting out enough. That's a good point too. So getting out there, it's really important to expand your network. Another, yeah, okay, so we have keep dating the wrong person. That's also really a very valid point. So I can show you also techniques. So I've got lots of information on how to know who's right for you. And yeah, obviously someone else has typed in, not sure, that's why I'm here. So I will reveal this information. I just know that you're busting to know. So the one thing that is absolutely universal is expecting certainty. And what's behind that is living in fear and playing it too safe. So how we expect certainty is wanting everything to be predictable. And you know when you're doing this is essentially when you want your ducks to line up. So going for the safe option, saying to yourself, when I do X, I will perhaps go out on a particular date, or for example, when I lose weight, I'll go on a date, or I only date someone with, say, no children, a particular height, lives in a particular postcode. So whatever it is that you may have done previously, and because of past experience, you've thought, oh, I've dated someone with children before and I had a negative experience, so I'd rather not do that again. So that's when you know that you're holding yourself back, really expecting certainty. So as we evolve and get older and we have our relationship experiences, we often think, oh, based on experience, I know now what I should and shouldn't do. And to an extent it is correct, but also it can really misguide us where people can make some decisions that may be based on fear. So it's really important to embrace uncertainty. So fall in love again like a teenager, knowing that every single person you meet is brand new, and just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to predict the future. And essentially, you're wanting someone who has very similar values to you. So one of the quotes I love is, when you love a person, all fear disappears, and when you're afraid, all love disappears. So take a few moments to think about it. It's very, very true. So life does reward action. As you know, you've achieved some incredible success throughout your career, and that has taken hard work. It's taken a lot of commitment and action. So knowing when your emotions aren't too involved with work, it's an easy thing to do. So when you are actually looking for love, knowing that you should apply the same principles to finding that special someone and having that amazing relationship. Because where you're looking at the principles and strategies that you apply in other areas of your life that you're succeeding really well, it's a good idea to implement what's working in those areas into what you'd like to really work well. So I know universally we all want that special someone. I can say it's an absolutely amazing feeling when it finally happens. So embrace uncertainty, life rewards action. So try something new. So when you do embrace uncertainty, fear can kick in and can get the better of you. So I challenge you to let go, take care of yourself, and take control and care of your life. I know that most people fear rejection. It's absolutely one of the number one fears and can be absolutely paralyzed by it, and they may not even know it. So keeping the same pattern in their behavior and thinking is really holding them back. And I notice that when my clients have a really long list of has to be this particular way before I do something, what's behind that is quite often fear. So the biggest thing that people fear often is that, if they, things will be the same as the past if they have been hurt. So it's really important to embrace change and celebrate it and know, looking to the future, that every situation's really different. So how expecting certainty is actually holding you back is expecting safety, predictability, and expecting the things to be the same as they were before, only with a different person. And you'll know that. And if you do feel that, I challenge you just to really sit back and ask yourself, what is it that you're actually feeling? Is it a true feeling, or is it something you're overthinking? Nobody has a crystal ball. It's really important when you are dating to really trust the process and trust that connection. Dare to be different. What you've done in the past hasn't worked. So, in terms of try something new, let go of those fears and really embrace trusting yourself, knowing that action rewards you very well. So get out there, meet different people, and have a lot of fun and be vulnerable. Now, this is really a lot harder than you think. And so being vulnerable is all about revealing the real you, the inner you, or in psychology it's often quite called the shadow. So I know and this is interesting for both men and women, very, very strong women have this exterior of the alpha woman. They take charge, they're very dominating, and men quite often have absolutely no idea what to do with it. And when they sense that, and I know some of you guys that are listening agree, is they feel like, wow, where do they fit in the piece? And there's a really great comedian who wrote a fantastic book, and he says, men, if they don't feel needed, they will go elsewhere, and that's so true. So that men love the vulnerability. They love the feminine within a woman. So the really strong alpha women, I encourage you to connect with the soft you. You do have that within you, and quite often the women that are the boldest, the strongest that I see on a daily basis are the ones that I truly connect with, and they're almost in tears when they reveal their vulnerable side, and it's such a beautiful side. And I'm sure most you guys listening will agree. And how you guys can make this work for you is to call her on it. If you're noticing she's being all tough and feeling as though she's invincible, it's all about calling her on it. So what's behind that? I'm noticing that this is what you're doing. I'm noticing this tough exterior. I mean, really, what is it that you want? And if you find that the person that you're dating, either man, if you're man or woman, vice versa, when they have this tough exterior, they're often, there's fear, there's lots of fear. They're playing it cool. And behind playing it cool is a really afraid person, very vulnerable. So for guys to show your vulnerability it's a fantastic thing. And that doesn't mean sitting there and crying or being all weak. What it does mean is a truly strong man actually tells a woman how he feels and shows her how he feels and lets her know, his dreams and where he wants to be in a relationship, and actually how he feels about her. So, like, go back to the romantic movies. That's what they do. and in real life it's so scary. So, really reframe that and go, okay, this is my new way. This is 2014 and I'm ready to make it happen. So it's about connecting with you, and this will allow you to connect with someone else. So when you are dating, a lot of things can come up. You're wanting the answers. You're wanting to know, does that person want to see me again? How do I know if they like me? You may be feeling fantastic on the date, and then it might be a few days before you hear anything from them. And then your little, what I call mini-me, a little voice in your head starts to get the better of you and starts to think, well, maybe, was it something that I said? Was it something I did? Maybe they liked me, maybe they didn't. What's really happened? Are they dating someone else? Especially as we live in such a fast-paced society. So during these times of uncertainty, it's really important to find areas in your life that are very predictable and are really feeding you and your soul. So things such as going to the gym or whatever it is. It could be the outdoors, it could be Pilates. CrossFit seems to be the latest thing right now. So whatever it is that even something that you've always wanted to do, so have a ritual, it's really feeding you and feeding your soul, and it'll give you the confidence to enjoy that quiet time. And other things to do, spending time with family, as long as you get along with them, friends, and taking up a hobby and interest. So really allow yourself to really look at your life and ask yourself how you can feel things. What have you always wanted to do? And, really embracing uncertainty. So to not embrace uncertainty is like eating the same meal over and over again. Imagine how malnourished you would feel that eating, for example, is extreme, but if you were to eat just bananas, and sure, bananas are healthy, there's lots of vitamin B and all these other vitamins, and they're really safe and good for you, but only having bananas, your body would start to crave proteins and amino acids from other foods. You'd be sick of the taste, you'd be bored, you'd be lethargic. You'd probably have lots of other vitamin deficiencies, and you'd really crave variety and adventure. So go back to the basic bananas and apply that to your dating. So dare to be different, embrace uncertainty. Dating life is very much the same. They're dating the same person over, going to the same restaurants, having beliefs and thinking patterns. It should be a particular way is really holding you back, and not embracing uncertainty is really sabotaging you. So really important when you are looking for a special someone is to look at the values. Look at a person's values, things such as family values. Do you have the same timeline? Do you spend the same amount of time with your family to get as ideally financial goals? Do you want the same things together? Do you like similar holidays? How often do you like to holiday? Where do you want to live? We look at things such as lifestyle, smoking, drinking, alcohol, exercise, sexual compatibility, all these different areas of compatibility where in the honeymoon phase it really doesn't matter, it's all really cute. In the long term you have to look, where are we going to be? Are we similar people? Do we like the same things? You can be completely different personalities. You can have an extrovert and an introvert. It's actually really complementary, those matches. But just knowing that fundamentally you both feel the same way about fidelity, financial goals, family values, lifestyle factors, and you're onto a big winner. And never ever look at your date or your partner as the potential that they have within them. Always look at them for what, see it as it is, and see how you can work together to build your life together. A big one also is jumping to conclusions. If a person hasn't called you by a certain amount of time, it could just mean that they've lost their phone, lost your number, could be really busy. They could actually be waiting for you to call. You just really don't know. So jumping to conclusions is working against you. So if you really have that desire, call them, get in touch. what's the worst that could happen? And actually taking action could leave you with a really exciting date to look forward to. And knowing that also when you are going on those first few dates with someone, knowing that chemistry takes time, especially for women. Men fall in love with their eyes and women fall in love with their ears. So remember that one, something I recommend. And when you do first start dating, when you are embracing uncertainty, fear may come up. It's very common. Channel that nervous energy into a hobby. Do something, as I mentioned before, sport, artistic. We've just had a few new people jump on, so I'm just refreshing a little. You do something you've always wanted to do. Keep busy, read lots of books, and I highly recommend reading books about relationships. Really understand the opposite sex. Get to know what men want, what women want, how our thinking patterns are different. I think women, it's about 20,000 words. We speak 20 or 30,000. Men speak 7,000 a day, so a huge difference. Just knowing that. It's a good thing to know. Knowing how, the 5 love languages, knowing how you show someone you love them, and also knowing how your match or date or future partner or even partner knows, knowing their love language will work wonders for you. It's an incredible thing. Takes us to our next slide. So, want to be swept off your feet in love? I think that's a good thing, and I'm pretty sure I can see lots of yeses there. So, where that starts, being absolutely in love with you. And it's the whole self-love. I don't like to use the term self-love. What I love to use is really looking after you, knowing your values. So knowing that you deserve some quiet time just to reflect on what it is that's important to you. And for me, it might be a small meditation in the morning and of an evening, just quiet time, having a stretch, doing some yoga, getting down to the beach, going to the gym, having a massage, a facial. For the men, it could be having a beer with the boys. Like, give yourself permission to what it is that you want to do. It could even be massaging too. I know lots of men love massages. It's absolutely essential, I think, for everyone. So be in love with you. Look at what it is. Write down the things that you have to offer someone. If you're feeling, there are days where you feel fantastic and you're on top of the world, and there are days where you think, will anyone love me? So they're the days that you need to write down all the things that you're grateful for, and look at what it is that you have to offer someone, and take your time. Take your time when you do meet that special someone, or even on your first date. Really take the time to connect through your dreams. So I often hear clients come to me and say, I've been on lots of dates, and I'm like, that's great. So how many have eventuated? And I know the answer because they're still here into relationships. And I'd ask them, tell me about how you could connect with me on a date, pretending I'm the opposite sex. And I'll say, tell me about your holiday. Tell me about, we've both been to maybe, say, for example, New York. And they'll quite often won't know where to start. But for me, if I were to try to connect with you, I would go to the fact that, okay, we've both been to New York. What did you love about it? How amazing were the pizzas? Did you love walking over the Brooklyn Bridge? Would you go back there? Where would you like to go on your next destination? If you could do anything in the world, what would you be doing? Tell me about your ideal home, your ideal, what's your favorite room, your ideal meal. If you could do a reality show, would you do one? And secondly, which one would it be? And if you were a superhero, which superhero would best describe you, or even a movie star? So connect through your dreams. You've got so much to gain. You think about kids, they sit down and they talk about their big dreams, what they want to be when they grow up. And when we're grown up, sometimes we forget to dream. So it's really important to sit back and go, what is it that I want? Do I want to eventually be living on an island? Do I want to eventually be living overseas, or am I really happy here, and do I want that white picket fence? What is it that you want? Share it. It's a beautiful thing, and quite often you'll see that your body language will change. And when you ask your date, make it all about them. Ask them, what is it that you want to do? And they'll be so open to you and so grateful to actually have the opportunity to be heard. It's also, share your fears. It's okay to be on share your fears and actually tell someone what it is that might be holding you back. I met a beautiful, beautiful lady a few weeks ago, and she was telling me how she would be she'd easily attract the men. She would go on a few dates with them, and in the friend zone, everything was perfect. But the minute they showed more interest in her and she started to invest her feelings, she started to feel vulnerable. And instead of embracing that and sharing that with them, she just put up a wall. And you may not even know that you do this, but when you do actually take the time to sit back, you'll notice that you actually don't feel as much, and you feel that wall. And if you think that you're hiding it, you're actually not. The other person knows. So share your fears. Let them know, hey, I really like you. I love spending time with you. I've been, I'm scared. I want to know that this is right, and I want to know that that this is safe. And I'm wondering if I could, share some insight, or be really open with you about something. And you'd be surprised how much the other person will really support you, really genuinely be interested and support you. A big thing for being swept off your feet in love, it's about putting both feet in. And that's what the sharing the fear comes from, and embracing the dream. So really have a balance, as long as it's not all fear-based. Sharing your dreams and fears, and just being you, acting as though you would with a very really big trusted friend. So put both feet in. Imagine if you're on a boat, you had one foot on the boat, one foot out, you'd end up in the water. And that's the same as relationships. Knowing that you're in, you're in. So couples that are really in love absolutely play together. So they have this beautiful banter, they like to laugh, they like to try new things, they're always on holidays. So, you can see that this couple here with a beautiful photo, he doesn't care that he's fully clothed, she's fully clothed too, and they're rolling around in the sand. So they're not too fussed about stains on their shirts and clothing. So couples that play together, stay together, and are madly in love. So get over yourself and connect. That's the big message here. So when I say get over yourself, it's really about getting out of your head and into your heart. It's the most beautiful gift you could give yourself and the other person. So I want to feel that first feeling you did when you first fell in love. I love that picture. It's so gorgeous. The little kids sharing a drink. So young love, absolutely beautiful. It's safe. It's full of hope. The world is your oyster. The only thing you know when you first fall in love is how amazing it feels. You have so much hope, and you want to give everything that you have. You have no barriers if they're all gone. So when you are feeling, when you want that fresh feeling of how to have that love that you first did the very first time, yet you find that fear is creeping up on you, there are some brilliant questions. These ones I recommend help you asking yourself when you get that self-chatter is, what is this fear costing you? So what is the fear costing you? And that will give you the secondary gain of what you're looking for. And how would you like it to be? Probably one of my favorite questions when I have self-doubt, when I'm not sure about something, and it's a great one for a lot of my clients, when they really want that relationship. They fear all the damage that's happened. So it's like, okay, That's the past. The past is the past, and that's your story. And the more you talk about the story, the bigger and stronger it gets. So let's look at, what is that costing you? What is the consequence? So what is the consequence of fear? Oh, I have walls. Okay, what's the consequence of walls? Well, I have no connection. What's the consequence of no connection? Well, I have no one in my life. What's the consequence of having no one in my life? Well, the consequence is being lonely. What's the consequence of being lonely? Feeling sad. What's the consequence of that? Well, probably having about 5 cats. So, and looking back and going, well, what could I have done instead? Just going into, okay, that's the fear is costing me. What is it that how would you like it to be? Well, I'd love to be in that beautiful, loving relationship with someone that I trusted, with my best friend, somebody that I could, tell anything to, somebody that supports me and loves me, and somebody that I support and love. So that's whatever it is for you. How is it that you'd like it to be? I'd like to have a family. I'd like to be married. I'd like to be all grey and wrinkly with someone. So, okay, great. That's the question. That's the outcome. Now, what do you need to do to make that happen? So it may be, all right, well, I need to get comfortable with myself. I need to trust. I need to open up. I need to put both feet in. And if I do all those things, what's the worst that can happen? Well, the best that can happen is that you get what you want and you're in love and you never look back. The worst that can happen is that you have to start again. And you've done it a few times, I'm sure. Dust yourself off, as Beyonce would say, and try again. Never ever give up. And it's really important to remember those little things, push through, knowing that everything happens for a reason. And if you are to embrace these strategies, how would it feel if it does work, if you put both feet in, if you embrace the uncertainty? What actions will you take? If it doesn't, but, how will you feel if it does? And look forward, say, into the future. How does it feel for you? Gratitude journals, absolutely love them. They've absolutely fabulous. So many absolutely. Gratitude journal. It's all about writing down 3 things that you're grateful every day for. It could be, I'm grateful that I live in a beautiful place. I'm grateful for my fantastic friends. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful to have the beautiful connections. I'm grateful to have traveled. I'm grateful to have experienced what I have. I'm grateful for everything. Think about, what is it that you're grateful for? You'll start to feel fresh and vibrant within. So want to stop overthinking your dates. This is a big self-sabotaging thing, overthinking. We can all do it, lots of different areas, and especially dating. So ask yourself, how is overthinking serving you? In a big, essentially on the outside it's not. But overthinking could be a strategy to keep yourself safe. So you could be thinking, he or she hasn't contacted me, so they might be on a date with someone else, they might be interested. Whatever it is that you're thinking about, you may be sabotaging the relationship before you get too emotionally invested. And essentially, you never get the opportunity to truly connect, so then you're feeling safe. So there's a vicious circle. So overthinking, big no-no, simply stop. Just stop and look at, from an outside, what would an outsider say if they actually saw this situation? If you stop overthinking your dates and truly connect with someone special, you'll actually be able to fall in love. So consciously stop yourself. Whenever you find your thoughts running wild, could be chattering in your head, it could be visual, you could be imagining all sorts of things, so just stop. Be conscious of that. It takes a huge amount of effort, but you can do it. So it's really, really critical to stop and find a distraction. It's lovely, that music, isn't it? It's my little girl's toy. Okay, so find a distraction. It's really Okay, stop. All right, I am overthinking now. Get out there and get a distraction. So the worst thing you could do is go into your quiet space and think about it. Now's the time to call a friend. Now's the time to, get out to the gym, get out to the outdoors. Go and read a book, watch a movie's a brilliant one as well. So think about what could you distract yourself with, keep yourself busy, and then after you've done that, you'll find that you'll feel at ease. So ride that wave. That wave can be uncomfortable, but it's a part of your healing, and you'll come out in the end feeling a lot better. So talk about it. Talk about it to a friend, therapist, coach. Talk about it to the person that you're overthinking. And that's a part of you showing your vulnerability, your special side. It actually makes them feel safe and connected with you. And, I was speaking to a client today and she was telling me about a date that she went on, and the guy said to her, oh, I've probably been, nothing as you expected, and he really showed his vulnerable side, and they really were able to laugh at it, and that was the moment that really stood out to her, and he got another date, which is a great thing. When you are, so see how you can do that. When you're overthinking also, ask yourself, is it clarity or is it confusion? So is it something that's going to help you? Are you getting more clarity about the situation? Are you getting the true meaning? Or is it that you are sabotaging, making up stories in your head? So remember, talk to your partner about it, or your date. It'd be nice for you to let them know how you're feeling. And, understand that when you start to feel, signs to know when you are overthinking, the indications are you start feeling sad and depressed. You start to wonder stuff like, how long is this relationship going to last? Is he or she going to break up with me? When you find yourself clinging to the phone, waiting for that person to text while you're thinking, why haven't they replied to me? It's been a day, it's been 2 days, it's been, they haven't contacted me, they could be doing the same. So ask yourself, why do you feel this way? Has your other half given you the reason to make you feel this way? Is it a past experience? Is it something that you've made up in your head? So try to think about it from the other person's point of view and look at where they're coming from. And is this helping or hurting me? How would I like it to be? And what do I need to do to get there? Takes me to the topic of fear. So fear is the enemy of love. Fear. One of my favorite quotes was, people that risk nothing, do nothing, have nothing. If you think about that, take a few moments. Imagine if you could let go of fear and live by the motto, everything will be all right in the end, and if it's not all right, it's not the end. I really like that. I think it's a beautiful way to live. Fear is, as I mentioned before, paralyzing. It's the one thing that stops most people from getting what they want. So I want to show you how to feel safe and find love the right way and actually help you get what you want. Fear is the enemy of success. Life does reward action, and taking risks, you will reap the rewards. And essentially, the calculated risks, are they really risks? Is doing nothing a bigger risk than doing something? You might sit there and think, gosh, what would happen if I did, and what would happen if I didn't? And quite often, what would happen if I didn't is a lot more painful than what would happen if I did. So what would happen if I did can take you to that really pleasurable place. So imagine if you waited for your date to come to you. Imagine if you waited for them to ask for a second date. I mean, times are changing. Women are actually asking men out just as much as men are asking women out. So imagine in a relationship that you didn't open up until your partner did. How much of a bond do you think you'd have? Imagine if the two of you never opened up and you lived codependently. You just lived. You didn't have any passion. And we've all seen those couples. I quite like the little ones that the beautiful little old couples that have been together for a million years and you still see them holding hands. I think they know their stuff. But they're the ones that I like to model. And they're all about being real and opening up. So life would be pretty superficial if you didn't open up. And it can be if you have choice. If I've learned anything in life, it's an action that scared me the most are actually the most rewarding. So leaving a cushy corporate job to open up my own business, opening up about feelings, a huge one. Absolutely huge. Opening up my feelings to show my vulnerable side. Having a little baby. Those things matter the most. And I can tell you, were the scariest. They really were worth it. Because I know that if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be where I am today. Think about what you could do to embrace the fear. Just have a look at the beautiful picture of the lion from the Wizard of Oz. He was, you just need some courage. It's just fine. You can do that. So it's amazing how many people I see play it cool, especially when I talk about children or marriage, long-term relationships, and yet they're the real things that matter, and they're the real reasons that people come and see me, and it's so funny to see them all, oh yes, one day, and I call them on it because there's no emotional attachment. It's like, all right, I'm hearing you saying this. What is it that you really want? Tell me about your timeline. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And it's quite funny. It's often, oh, yes, okay, all right, It's like, yes, and this is a safe place to share that. And it's really important to be able to share this with your future partner or date, whoever it is. As long as it's not too, I want to have children right now with you. It's not about that. Knowing that you both want the same things. And with our profiles, you'll be able to see what the person wants, as most of you know already. So sure, the actions are hard at the time or just prior, but you can retrain yourself. So to get past the momentary fear and push towards the payoff, focus on the payoff. So here's a couple of ways that you can do this to give you some tools. So value courage over safety. So people that value safety quite often don't change, they don't take risks. They put up with their jobs that they hate, marriages that are making them miserable. They go into their caves and are all alone. They spend years alone. They stick to habits that are killing them, like smoking, comfort food, just to feel more secure. So you be different, conquer that fear. You must consciously dethrone security. That is the most valuable thing in life. Push to the side and replace that with a virtue of courage. You decide once and for all that you mean everything to you. Your happiness means everything to you and you are important. And having the courage to do the things that you want are more important to you than anything. And this will help you succeed rather than to cling on things that make you feel safe. So essentially, again, this is something, it's like saying, focusing on the things that you want rather than the things that you don't want. So I often hear clients say, I don't want this, I don't want that. And say, all right, let's stop the conversation. I'm not too fussed about what you don't want. I want to know what it is that you want, because what you focus on is what you get. So focus on, listen to your language. I want X. I want a loving relationship. I want a beautiful partner in my life. I want a best friend. But think about what is it that you want and how you can achieve that. Most fears are really irrational and unreasonable, and it's the irrational ones that hold you back from being happy. And at the end of the day, is that really worth it? I don't see it is. So treat fear as a call to action. If what you fear is outside of your control, then write down a specific plan. Write down the steps you can take. Once you've completed the task, start taking action. And I mean right now, not tomorrow, not next week, I mean now. So reframe fear into excitement. So that feeling, and they're very close, very, very, very similar feelings. So tune into the aspect that fear is really fun. It means you're getting closer. Oh, You know, that feeling of fear, actually, is it fear or is it excitement? I think it's excitement. Yeah, because you know that you're getting closer and you know that this is what you deserve. And think about that last time you rode a roller coaster. You probably felt plenty of fear. I know I did. I was screaming, thinking, "How am I going to get off this thing?" It was scary. It was almost life-threatening. But you know, I had a great time too. And after getting off the roller coaster, it was such a huge accomplishment. I felt so proud. Very dizzy, but very proud. So apply the roller coaster principle to it. Life is like a roller coaster. Feel the fear, face it anyway. You can do it. You have the courage to overcome anything. You've conquered so much in your life already, and you deserve it. A really great way to wrap this up for you is to look into the future. I've called it future pace when I coach. So look into the future. In 3 months from now, when you have written your gratitude journal, every day you focus on the things that you're grateful for. Every day you take action. Every day you challenge yourself. Every day you connect with you. You feel more vulnerable for yourself, only for a moment. Feel the true connection, and you can be really honest and open with the other person about what your needs are and what their needs are, and you truly connect. So imagine 3 months from now the person that you will be. I'm pretty sure that will be highly attractive because you'll be out connecting with you. You'll be connecting with your friends, your family. You'll be feeling amazing, and you'll be attracting a lot of positivity in your life. And you could even have that special someone. So imagine 12 months from now what your life would be like if you were to embrace the fear, take action, reframe fear as excitement, dare to be different, put both feet in, be able to express what it is that you really want. You know, in a very resourceful way. Imagine the respect that you'll have. Imagine how you'll feel. Imagine where you'll be. And imagine in 10 years from now, if you don't take action, what is it going to be like for you to look back, live in regret? Or what's it going to look like if you do take all the actions that we spoke about today? If you do truly connect with you, embrace the uncertainty, and give yourself permission to have that relationship that you desire. And on that note, I'd like to finish up with a few quotes. And Winnie the Pooh has a brilliant quote, which I found. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. That one really resonated to me. I love it. And adventure equals unknown. Embrace uncertainty. Let go of wanting security to make it happen. Thank you so much for your attention and your time tonight. I really appreciate it, and I'm so happy to see so many of you investing in you. And if anyone has any questions, I would be more than happy to answer. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to share some insight. I had a fabulous marriage of 37 years, now a widow, but men have changed these days, and the players in their 60s and not wanting a deep connection. Now what? Okay, that's a really, really fantastic question. Sorry to hear about your loss. We could look at this as a new chapter, and men, be careful not to make an assumption. It's a generalization. Sometimes there are certain types of men that are players and some women that are players, but in actual fact, there are lots of people out there that I come across that are very, very genuine, who really want relationships. And the way you'll know is you look at the way a person lives their life. So you'll differentiate a player with a man, between a family-oriented man quite easily. A player will have, most of his friends will be single. He won't be interested in seeing you often. He will live quite the fast-paced life and be very charming, witty. A really genuine family-oriented man, you'll see is quite grounded, can be quite homey. He tends to have a really great supportive network of friends, and he's really real. He's more than likely to open up to you more. And there are so many fabulous men of all ages who are looking for that long-term relationship. And what I find that the men that come and see us are just so incredible. They're really, really amazing men who genuinely are wanting that long-term relationship. They're wanting that best friend. They're the words that I hear. I want someone who's best friend, someone I can love, trust. You know, men have just as much fear, if not more, as women, because women can be quite scary these days as well. So it's about, all right, trusting, knowing that assumption that men are players isn't. How is it serving you? Probably not too well. How could I look at things differently? Well, that assumption will sweep under the carpet, because is it really true? Or is that overthinking? Or is it what your friends have said? Or is it what you've read? And just focus on what it is that you want. So that's also coming from that. There's a lot of fear that's is actually holding you back more than anything. So trusting, all right, that's the assumption. It's gone. What is the type of man that I want? Write down the qualities and the values that he has to offer, and write down what it is that you have to offer, and think about where will that man be? What are the things that he would do in his spare time? What are the things that we could do together? So I really hope that has answered your question, and really work on you knowing how much you have to offer. So thank you. That was a brilliant, brilliant question. Really appreciate that. So if any of you would like, some of you may have this, some of you may not. If you'd like a copy of Mind Reading Your Partner, this will help you connect with someone completely different. So it could be, you could be an introvert and you're wanting to connect with an extrovert, or you could be an extrovert wanting to understand an introvert. Completely two different major personalities. Can be a beautiful match. As I mentioned before, it's about values match is important. Personality match, behavioral profiles, they're really flexible. So if you would like a copy of Mind Reading Your Partner, so please send me an email at samantha@bluelabellife.com.au, and I would be more than happy to send you through a copy. And I have a few other books to send out to you as well. So thank you again. I had a great time tonight sharing this information with you, and I really look forward to hearing all the feedback of you putting it into use. So have a lovely night and go and indulge in something. Have a bath, a glass of wine, whatever it is. A really nice, nourishing meal. And I will see you next time.